So I guess there are sort of three sort of ways that charities fundraise. The first one is the people on the street who stop you and ask if you'd like to get involved. For those people, the general approach is that the person who perhaps wishes to donate fills in a form. Communications that are derived and related to that are generally going to be covered by contractual performance. So in other words, you need to carry out the processing activities to allow the donation to take effect. At the same time, you'll very often find at the bottom of those forms there's a tick box to give specific consent to be added to the mailing list, so to receive direct marketing emails. Second scenario is sort of online, so perhaps there's a targeted piece of advertising or an advertorial that appears. The person who wishes to get involved clicks through, and then it's very similar to the street example. They're filling an online form, expressing an interest. Follow-up communications that derive from that will be based on contractual performance, and they may or may not have ticked to agree to be added to a mailing list at that point. The final scenario, events that happen, they might be events that are specifically sort of targeted around fundraising, or perhaps they're just more sort of indirect sort of things. The process there is probably a little bit different. Invitations to the events might be based on legitimate interest, so it might potentially be that somebody has at some point expressed an interest, or it might be that for whatever reason the charity thinks that this person is perhaps interested in coming. So those sorts of initial communications could be based on legitimate interest. I would probably expect a charity to be trying to get people to sign up to stuff at that event, and that's back to the form example, so contractual performance and legitimate interest or consent.
And tell us a bit about processing beneficiary data, both from members, non-members, and the person on the street.
So, by beneficiary data, I guess we're covering a couple of things. The first one is the sort of financial information around their payments. That's going to be contractual performance. You need to process that information to take their donations. Other stuff that might have been collected, however, different charities collect different things. You'd imagine that some of that would be contractual performance, so around being able to take donations and meet obligations. Some of it could be broader than that, so potentially some of it could be based on consent. Others could be based on a sort of not-for-profit exemption. So this is quite an important one for not-for-profit businesses and charities. It enables them to carry out processing activities in respect of their members, former members, and people in regular contact with them without the need for consent.